Hello Cancer, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have a tarot deck that we'll be diving into, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended to close out the reading. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Cancer. In your recent past, you have beginnings with the Seven of Cups. So I feel as if in your recent past, you stepped into a very new energy. This is a very fresh energy for you, but this energy is also, because it's new, it's very overwhelming. It's very confusing. There's this energy of feeling a little bit lost. What this kind of reminds me of is when you're on the journey to kind of like stepping into a new version of yourself, or starting a new job, or being put in a situation where you're outside your comfort zone and it's kind of new or fresh energy, it can feel as if you have no idea what you're doing, where you're going, how things are going to turn out. And sometimes that can feel really scary because it is, like I kind of mentioned, very outside of your comfort zone. There's a lot outside of your control, but it also is where miracles happen. I mean, when we're outside of our comfort zone is when the universe has the ability to kind of step in and allow us and do for us what we are not able to do for ourselves. Now, in your current energy, you have transformation with the Ace of Swords in reverse. So I do feel as if you are in the middle of a transformation right now, a pretty big transformation. And that's kind of why I feel as if it's almost like the death of old energies, maybe even taking it as far as like the death of an old version of yourself. And now you're kind of stepping into a new version of yourself, a new, more like evolved version of you. But you know, in between death and rebirth, there is kind of that phase of not really knowing what the heck is going on. And that's where I feel you are right now, you know, in the middle of a transformation. Things seem really scary. Again, you don't know how you're going to get to where you're going, when you're going to get there, what it's going to look like, if you're going to be okay. But then in your immediate future, you have celebration with the Wheel of Fortune. So this is the wheel turning in your favor. This is things working out for the best. This is, you know, kind of almost best case scenarios happening. But the biggest thing that you have to remember is that these best case scenarios just might not look the way that you think they will. And so sometimes if you're like, oh, well, things are headed in a different direction, or things aren't working out the way that I once thought that they would, or in a way that I expected, we can think that the worst is coming. But literally what this is saying is, even though you're in the middle of a transformation and things feel very scary, maybe you're feeling a little stuck or unsure, just know that as you progress through this transformation, a lot of good can come from this, which is why the overall theme for the reading is look at the bigger picture. So zooming out your perspective, trying not to get so caught on where you're at right now, because I think that a lot of times us as humans, we have a tendency to look at our life through a very limited lens, and we start to believe that, oh, this is, you know, this is how things are going to be forever, or I'm never going to get out of this, or things are never going to get better, when in reality, the complete opposite is true. And we just have to learn that everything is happening for a reason. Everything is happening for us, not to us, even if it's really hard to see it that way in the middle of the journey. So let's start, though, by diving into the specifics of this energy. Let's look at your recent past. You have beginnings with the Seven of Cups, recent past for Cancer. All right. Cancer's recent past. Yeah, there's that death. I knew we were going to see it. Okay. So here's, oh goodness, and then the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. You know, one thing that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to like a growth or a healing journey is the amount of grief that comes along with the loss of what no longer serves or aligns with you. I feel like that is the epitome of your recent past here, Cancer. You have this Ace of Pentacles with the Emperor in reverse. So there's an opportunity here that you're kind of being given but hasn't been able to manifest itself into reality. The Emperor in reverse is the need to kind of get out of your own way. And I feel like that's what you're in the process of doing. Sometimes we don't realize how certain situations, certain people, certain behaviors, certain mindsets, how they hold us back. Because we think that they're as good as it can get. Now, when we kind of wake up to a more evolved version of ourselves, we kind of wake up to maybe a spiritual journey or a different level of our spiritual journey, we do have to go through this process of shedding old layers and letting go of, again, people, places, situations that just don't align with you because they can't go where you're going. As you raise your vibration, certain things kind of have to fall off to make room for the things that are really meant for you. And that is 100% what this energy was in your recent past, is kind of stepping into a newer energy. The death of things, maybe one specific thing, maybe a few different things that just couldn't come with you where you're going. But it doesn't mean that you've lost the opportunity to be happy, loved, fulfilled, abundant. Not, absolutely not. In fact, I feel as if this is the universe kind of putting you through the process of letting go with what doesn't serve you to make room for what does. I feel like it's a very overwhelming new beginning, but it is a very positive one, even if it's hard to feel that way right now. Recent past for Cancer. Now, this is only your past, right? The past energy. This past energy kind of does feel like it sounds maybe a little bit dramatic or intense, but it does very much feel like it's like this death of an old version of you, the death of your old self in a way. You have this Empress in reverse, the Moon, the Six of Cups. A lot of fear in your recent past. A lot of fear associated with this process. Now, that makes a lot of sense because, again, as you step into a new beginning and you let go of what has kind of been around and been a source of comfort for you, when you start to lose things that don't align with you anymore, it can feel really scary because you can feel like you're losing, again, opportunities to be happy, loved, abundant, fulfilled. And I feel like that fear that you were kind of experiencing because of these things falling away in your life was actually the fear that has been keeping you from being able to experience all the good things that you desire. Because in a way, here, Cancer, especially with the Empress in reverse, I feel like you were doing a lot of settling in your relationships and your career, maybe in one specific area, but I personally feel like this reading could be applied to a lot of areas of your life. That's the way it feels. It feels very like overarching theme in your journey. And I feel like you maybe even didn't really realize how you were settling for financial situations, settling for certain levels of success, settling for friendships that, didn't treat you well or didn't serve you. It's, settling in certain aspects of your life that it's almost like you didn't realize you could have more or you could experience more. And so the falling away of that is not necessarily the universe taking from you what it is that you desire. It's the universe trying to show you through this process that you can have more, that you can experience more. But sometimes in order to be able to gain more, we have to lose the things, the people, the situations in our life that limit us to experiencing more. And that's a really, really hard process. I remember when I was kind of going through one of the bigger awakenings that I had in my life. I mean, I was stripped of so much, and that process brought on so much sadness and so much fear because I felt like the universe was targeting me or punishing me or taking away from me things that I, in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm not deserving of these good things. That's why the universe is stripping me of them. When in reality, kind of being where I'm at now and looking back on that journey, the whole time, the universe was trying to move me to better places, to put me in situations where I could receive more and be able to be happier and more at peace with myself and my life. But when you're in the middle of that process, it doesn't feel like that. It feels horrible. It feels Like I said, kind of like sad and scary. And I feel like that's a lot of what you've been going through. But it also, then you have this celebration, the Wheel of Fortune, in your immediate future. That's why you have to look at the bigger picture, kind of looking at how this could be happening, or how this is all happening for you and not to you. All right. Recent past for Cancer. Okay. So it does feel as if there were certain places in your life where maybe you knew that you were receiving less than what you deserved. Maybe you knew your needs weren't being met, or you knew that you weren't getting what it is that you ultimately desired. But it kind of feels like you were continuing to invest in these things because you were continuing to invest in these things anyway. But I feel like it was ultimately because you, again, and I keep coming back to this feeling of like you didn't realize you could have more. You didn't realize things could get better than what it is that you've been used to experiencing. Because a lot of times we settle not because we want to, but because we think we have to. Especially if you're used to living a life of lack and loss and settling, you're going to start to believe that that's what's absolutely necessary in order for you to survive. And the universe will always swoop in whenever you are in places that don't align with your worth and take you away from those places to open you up to better ones. So let's see. So you're still in the middle of this transformation. This is very much death and rebirth kind of energy. But current energy here for Cancer, transformation with the Ace of Swords in reverse. Current energy for Cancer. Oof, okay. You're very outside of your comfort zone right now. And it almost feels as if there is this feeling that things are moving very slowly for you. With the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, almost like you feel as if, and I kind of said this at the very beginning too, as if you're stuck in a situation that's never going to change. There's a lot that is outside of your control right now. And when things are outside of our control, we have a tendency to expect the worst. But I feel as if the universe is really asking you to lean on the faith that you are supported and guided through this, and that things are actually happening in a way that is going to be better than you can even understand right now, because you are in the thick of a journey. The journey is scary, and there's a lot of, overwhelming unknowns that come with it. But I feel when we can embrace those unknowns and believe it with that faith that everything is going to work out for the better of us, for the better of our lives, and for the betterment of ourselves, then we can lean into that, which makes it a lot easier to kind of surrender to the process. Because right now, with there being a lot out of your control, you're actually in a really good position to allow the universe to kind of put you wherever it is that you're supposed to be, kind of place you wherever it is that aligns with you. But you're kind of in the process of finding that path, of finding your way. And with the Ace of Swords in reverse, things aren't very clear right now. But that's okay. It's not that you're not lost. You just, because what I was going to say is you're not lost. You just don't know where you're going, which can feel like you're lost, but you're not lost because the universe has your back and is very aware that you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now, based on these messages. Current energy for Cancer. Ooh, there's the Wheel of Fortune, okay? Same Wheel of Fortune we see in your immediate future. But you have this Four of Wands in reverse with the Three of Cups. The universe is asking you to pay attention to certain people that hold you back. Certain people in your life that hold you back. Friends, acquaintances, bosses, certain people in your life that kind of keep you stuck in a negative mindset or keep you stuck in an old version of yourself. Like maybe people, or, it's definitely people with the Three of Cups, like a community of people that keep you, that align more with like your old self than the version of you that you're becoming. Because there are energies around you that are trying to keep you back, that are trying to hold you back. Not because they're like out to get you. Like, I don't feel like you're in this energy of like, oh, these people want to see you fail. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I think that a lot of people, or there are certain people that you're surrounded with or surrounded by that are watching you kind of grow and aren't doing a whole lot of growing themselves. And that brings on a certain level of insecurity that they don't know how to handle. And so they want you, they want to stay right where they're at, because staying where you're at, not growing, not evolving, not transforming, that's easy. That's an easy thing to do. Taking the chance on yourself to actually create lasting change in your life, when you're not happy or when you're in situations that don't fulfill you, that's hard. Taking it upon yourself to take charge of your life and move forward in this energy is very difficult. You're doing it, Cancer. You are. But not everybody else is. And there's this energy, I think that there's this need to recognize that you cannot bring everyone with you where you're going. And maybe this is more about kind of like past situations that have been lost, is recognizing that you're losing, because of course you want everyone to grow and heal and evolve with you in terms of relationships and family members, and you want everyone to come with you, right? People that you love and care about, of course you do. But you can't make that decision for them, and you can't drag them along, because all that's going to do is hold you back from your own progress. So just something to be aware of right now, because I do feel as if I don't know, there's something, especially the Four of Wands in reverse, like holding you back or keeping you stuck in a not so great mindset too, or trying to. Current energy for Cancer. Oof. Yeah. Okay. There is this energy of feeling deeply lost right now. But I also I just feel this energy with this card that's like, you have nothing to be afraid of. That's just this feeling that I get with this feeling of being very lost. Like, you might feel lost, you might feel stuck, you might feel unsure. There might be a lot of fear associated with that. Not that you're not going to feel the fear, not that you still need to work through that fear, but you don't have anything to be afraid of on this journey. Because in your immediate future, you do have celebration with the Wheel of Fortune, and a lot of good is coming your way. Right now is a need to really trust yourself. Trust your growth, trust the work you've put in, trust the universe and trust that the universe has your back, and trust your level of deservingness of good things to come, because you do deserve good things, Cancer. You're going through this process of death and rebirth, and it's very important that you remember that there is a rebirth. There is a rebirth aspect of this process. So allowing yourself to kind of be where you're at, because where you're at right now is just as important to the journey as where you're trying to go, right? So be very grateful for where you're at right now, even if it's hard to understand that things are working out for you, because all that can do is push you forward into more things to be grateful for. Which again, I know how challenging that can be when you're struggling, but and maybe you're not struggling, maybe you're just feeling lost. You're not lost, you just feel lost. It's kind of like Like you're on the right road. You're headed in the right direction. You're doing the right things. You just feel lost because it's all new. It's a new, right? There's this new energy like we kind of started out the reading talking about. It's like you're doing the right thing. You're on the right path. You just feel lost because it's new. But new isn't necessarily bad. It's just out of your control because it's not as predictable as the old energies that you're used to. All right. What can Cancer expect in their immediate future? Celebration with the Wheel of Fortune. Very positive energy here. All right. Overall energy for Cancer's immediate future. Oh, this is King of Swords. Okay. Same Seven of Wands in reverse as we just saw. So this is kind of what I was just talking about, but taking it to the next step. Because this is a lack of hope, this energy of not really trusting the universe at all. The King of Swords in reverse is kind of this energy of giving in to the experience of doubt and fear. And I'm not saying like, oh, you're so weak, Cancer, for giving into that energy. I think things have been really freaking hard for you. I think things have been pretty tough, so it makes sense. But then you have the Chariot. So to me, what this is talking about with your future energy is despite how you currently view your future, despite the negative expectations that you have because of feeling very lost and very out of your control, there's success, there's progress, there's forward movement, there's good energy. It's like just because you don't feel like things are working out doesn't mean they're not. Just because you feel like or just because you feel like you're lost because you don't know how things are going to be okay, it doesn't mean they're not going to be okay. It just means you don't know how. Just because you don't know how things are going to be okay doesn't mean they're not going to be okay. Just because you don't know how you're going to get there doesn't mean you're not going to get there. There's this energy to really lean on this idea and truth that you are being supported by something bigger than you. You're not alone. You might feel alone, but you're not alone. You're very supported. You have a spiritual team behind you. And they want you to succeed just as much as you do. They want you to get to where you're going. They want you to have the love that you deserve. They want you to have the abundance that you deserve just as much as you do. So despite how you feel about where you're headed right now, things are actually going better than you think. So trying your hardest to let go of control right now. Control is a huge thing. I mean, we started the reading out with the Emperor in reverse, so that makes sense. But letting go of your control and recognizing that just because things are out of your control doesn't mean that they're going to be bad. In fact, according to this reading, should you kind of move in alignment with your higher self, they're going to be very good. What does Cancer need to know regarding their immediate future? I actually think that we had the Chariot right here. Yeah, look, bottom of this is a clarifying deck. So progress, forward movement, immediate future for Cancer. Ooh, that card has something to say. And sometimes it's funny, I'll explain like why I kind of chuckled, is the messages come out a certain way and then I kind of laugh at the way they're presented and then I break them down to explain them a little bit more, because the way that this came out is like you're triggered by getting into alignment. Like it's just funny to think like, oh, you're so triggered because you're headed on the right path, right? But there's more to it than that. Because what it comes down to is a lot of times we get it in our mind, you know, how we think things should go, where we think we should be, how we think that things should have worked out. And we start to believe that since they didn't go a certain way, that since they didn't happen in a way that we expected them to go or desired them to go, we start to believe in our mind that must mean things are going to be really bad, right, from here on out. Like it's like, oh, because things didn't go the way that I thought they needed to go for me to be happy, that must mean I'm never going to be happy. That must mean I'm never going to get to where I'm trying to go. When in reality, the path that you're currently on, this transformation, this death, loss, death of kind of old self, loss of things that don't align with you, all of that is actually getting you into alignment with the happiness that you were looking for through the things that didn't work out. So it's just funny how sometimes we get triggered because, again, things are out of our control. We don't see how they're going to be okay. So that's very triggering to us because it's very out of our control. But the universe is saying through this message, just because you're confused about the path doesn't mean the path is wrong. It doesn't mean that you're headed down the wrong path. It literally just means that you are unable in this moment to comprehend how things can turn out well for you. Now I don't want that to dismiss the way that you feel or say like you shouldn't feel sad or you shouldn't feel however you need to feel. You're in the middle of a journey. Every single aspect of your emotions, of your thoughts, of the things that you're experiencing, they're important to the journey because it's helping you uncover aspects of yourself that are necessary to uncover to get you to where you want to go. But in the back of your mind, look at the bigger picture and hold on to the faith that everything is working out in a way that's even better than you think things can be. The universe didn't take from you situations that didn't align with you out of punishment. The universe has moved you away from places where you didn't belong to put you in places where you do. And yes, that's a triggering process. And yes, that's very difficult. But with the 9 of Pentacles right here, with the Wheel of Fortune and celebration, like I just feel once you get to where this path is taking you, you're not going to even kind of regret the journey. You're not going to look back and be like, oh man, like I would have been happier not taking this journey, or I would have been happier if things worked out the other way. Like you're not going to be disappointed where things end up if you stay true to your path. Immediate future for Cancer. Does Cancer need to know? It's funny, there's the Ace of Swords right there, upright. What does Cancer need to know regarding their immediate future? Oh my gosh. Okay. Page of Pentacles in reverse. What you need to know is there's better opportunities than you even think are possible for you. And try to work through your attachment to the way that you thought things needed to be. Because there's an attachment that's getting in your way to what's better for you. Because here's the 10 of Cups. Page of Pentacles in reverse, kind of talking like opportunities that haven't been able to manifest, better opportunities that you might not be able to see or understand yet. There's the 10 of Cups. I mean, this is long-term fulfillment. If you're looking for finding your soulmate, finding a relationship that aligns with your highest good, that's what this is talking about. But you have an attachment to the way that things should have worked out, maybe with a past relationship or maybe even a current relationship that you're continuing to invest in despite it being, not good for your highest good. Because there's this, with the Queen of Swords in reverse, this attachment that you've created to how you think things should have gone has actually kept your heart closed off to how good they can get for you. There was a period in my life where there was this person that I was seeing for a while, and when we broke up, I literally in my mind thought, like, I'm never going to be happy. I'm never going to be happy again. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to experience the kind of joy or love or abundance that would have existed if that relationship worked out. And I believed this for a very long time. Went through a lot of healing. It taught me a lot. It was absolutely necessary. Got to where I'm at now. Met my current partner. And this relationship that I'm in now has taught me that I limited myself to what I thought I wanted because I literally didn't even know what kind of love was possible for me. And the kind of love that I get to experience now is beyond anything that I ever even imagined I could have. And so I say that because I want you to understand that there's always a bigger plan. The universe always has your desires in mind when helping guide you forward. It's just we as humans have only a snapshot of the journey, right? And it's whatever is right in front of us at this moment. And we have a tendency to view our future based on what we think and feel about our current experience. So we say, I'm sad now, I'm experiencing loss now, therefore I'm probably always going to be sad and always feeling loss. When in reality, just because we're experiencing something right now, that experience that we're having might actually be happening for the betterment of our journey. And trust me, like, I know from experience how hard it is to believe that in the moment when you're kind of shedding old layers, because you're losing parts of yourself that you thought you needed or that you thought aligned with you. And it's a really trying experience. But you have the Ten of Cups, you have Celebration, you have the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Two of Wands, you have the Chariot. Like, this is such positive energy for you. But my advice to you, Cancer, is to let go and allow the universe to guide you into this energy, and let go of your attachment of how you think things need to be in order for you to experience that kind of energy. But we're going to hop on over to the extended. This was focusing on what you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. This extended is going to be what you need to do right now to ensure that you move forward in alignment with your higher self. Information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Cancer, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Cancer, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Cancer.